The crimson sky above Taraxis bled with light from 1,000 descending warships. Their engines howled like dying gods, setting the horizon ablaze. To the villagers below, it was the sound of extinction. They ran, small, gray-skinned beings with thin limbs and trembling eyes, while the ground quaked under the Dominion's march. Metal soldiers, their armor glinting in molten gold, fanned across the valleys in neat formation, 10,000 strong. And at the heart of the chaos stood one man, a human. Captain Jace Wren adjusted the strap on his ruined exosuit and looked up at the descending fleet. His left arm was wrapped in bandages. His right held an antique pulse rifle, Terran design, centuries old but still deadly in the right hands. He was alone, and yet he didn't look afraid. The outpost. Taraxis wasn't supposed to be his home. 2 years ago, Jace's ship had crashed during a border skirmish. The local aliens, the Karin peaceful miners, had found him half dead in the desert. They feared him at first, calling him a war ghost. But when raiders came, Jace defended them. When plague swept through their domes, he built filters from his broken armor. Slowly, he became part of them. Now, their world was under siege by the Zorath Dominion, an empire that consumed planets like wildfire. He stood on a cliff, staring down at the Karin Valley below. Smoke rose from burning homes. A child screamed. 10,000 troops, muttered Eshra, a young Karin woman clutching a plasma shard. They'll slaughter everyone. Not if I make them think they're fighting more than one man, Jace said quietly. Eshra blinked at him. You can't stop them, human. No one can. Jace slid a power cell into his rifle. Maybe not, but I can slow them down. 2, the first strike. By nightfall, the first wave of Dominion scouts reached the valley entrance. Jace was waiting. He'd turned the mining fields into a death trap. Plasma cables rigged to explode under specific frequencies, pressure mines buried beneath the sand, and gravity distorters aimed at the narrow passes. When the first scout activated his comm beacon, the entire hillside erupted. Flames roared across the valley, swallowing metal and bone alike. The shock wave lit up the dark. The aliens screamed into their transmitters. Multiple hostiles, then silence. From the shadows, Jace whispered, "That's one." He moved like a phantom through smoke and dust. His exosuit was half dead, but his mind, trained in the wars of Earth, was sharp as ever. He didn't need 10,000 soldiers. He needed their fear. Every time the Dominion sent a squad, he struck from a new direction. He made the echoes of his shots seem like an army. By dawn, the alien commander, General Zakor, was pacing his command deck. Reports indicate resistance numbers exceeding 500, hissed his officer. But sensors only detect one life form. Zakor's eyes narrowed. Impossible. No single being could withstand the Dominion. A long pause. Then, find him. Bring me the human's head. 3. The legend spreads. Days bled together. Smoke turned the sky gray. The Karin hid in caverns while Jace fought in the open. He didn't sleep. He only moved, struck, vanished. Each explosion painted a new scar across the planet. To the Dominion soldiers, it was no longer a mission. It was a haunting. Their sensors picked up one heat signature, always shifting, never staying long enough to catch. They started whispering about the human wraith. When Karin children spoke of him, they lit small torches and said prayers. The one who fights alone, they called him. The one the fire cannot kill. Eshra often climbed the cliffs to bring him supplies. Rations, power cells, bandages. "You've done enough," she told him once, tears glistening under her silver eyes. "The Dominion will not stop. You'll die here." "Maybe," Jay said, tightening the strap on his rifle, "but not before they remember my name." He smiled faintly, something between exhaustion and defiance. "Besides, I'm not just fighting for them. I'm fighting for you." 4. The Queen's message. On the 5th night, the Dominion changed tactics. No more soldiers. A single dropship landed on the ridge, and from it stepped Queen Vera, ruler of the Zorath Dominion. Her armor was black glass, her crown like molten metal. Jace watched from the rocks as she raised a hand, amplifying her voice across the valley. "Human," she said. Her tone was almost calm. "You've killed 600 my soldiers. You've crippled my vanguard. Impressive for a primitive species." Jace stood, revealing himself under the broken moonlight. "What do you want?" he called back. Vera tilted her head. "To understand you. We expected 10,000 soldiers to take this world. Yet you, one man, have halted our advance. Why?" "Because someone had to," he said simply. Her eyes gleamed. "We know what you are, Jace Wren. Your DNA carries the remnants of Project Helios, an ancient Terran experiment. The weapon buried beneath this planet responds to that signature. You can unlock it. Help us, and the Karn will live." Jace froze. "You wanted to hand you a weapon?" "Not just a weapon," she purred. "A god machine capable of consuming stars." He shook his head. "You'll never touch it." "Then you will die," said Vera, and her voice became fire. The next instant, the sky exploded with energy. 5, the final stand. The Dominion unleashed their full force. Mech's thunder crossed the valley. Tanks roared through flame, and the air shimmered with plasma storms. Jace retreated to the old mining station, the heart of his traps. He reprogrammed every drone, every turret, every fragment of surviving tech. The control panel sparked, warning lights screaming. Power surge imminent. System overload in 60 seconds. Escher's voice came through the comms, shaky and desperate. "Jace, please, evacuate. There's still a way out through the canyon." He looked at the horizon. 10,000 enemy soldiers closing in like a black wave. "I'm exactly where I need to be," he said softly. He pressed the override. The old systems came alive, lights glowing like eyes. Outside, the first tanks entered the valley. Jace gritted his teeth. "Come and get me." The battle lasted minutes, but it felt eternal. Jace fought like a storm. His rifle melted under the heat. He switched to blades, grenades, fists. Each explosion tore the valley apart. Dominion troops fell by the dozens. When his ammo ran dry, he picked up enemy weapons. When those failed, he set traps with his bare hands. Finally, his suit gave out, systems collapsing, armor cracked. He fell to one knee, bleeding, surrounded by thousands of enemy soldiers. General Jakor approached, his armor glimmering in the red haze. "You fought well, human," he said, "but this ends now." Jace raised his head, blood running down his chin. "It ends when I say it ends." He lifted a small detonator, the final trigger. Jakor's eyes widened. "What have you?" Click. The entire mining station erupted. A blinding column of light tore through the valley, vaporizing everything in its path. The shockwave consumed metal, rock, and air alike. 6, the aftermath. When the light faded, Taraxis was silent. The Dominion fleet had vanished. Scattered debris glittered in the upper atmosphere. The valley was a crater of glass and ash. From the ruins, Escher and the surviving Karn emerged. They found Jace lying near the edge, his armor fused to the ground, still breathing faintly. She knelt beside him. "Jace, you did it. They're gone." He coughed weakly, a small smile tugging at his lips. "Told you, I'd slow them down." "Don't speak," she said, tears falling onto his chest plate. He stared at the sunrise, gold bleeding into blue. "Promise me something, Escher. Anything. When they tell this story, don't call it war. Call it the warning." His breath slowed. His eyes dimmed. Then nothing. Escher pressed her forehead against his and whispered, "Rest now, human. The world remembers." 7, the legend. Years passed. The valley became sacred ground. No Dominion fleet ever returned. Children of Taraxis grew up hearing the tale of the one who fought alone. They built statues of him, tall, unbowed, rifle in hand. When travelers asked, What army saved you? The Karn always smiled and said, there was no army, just one human who refused to surrender. And deep beneath the planet's crust, the god machine slept once more, its systems humming faintly, as if waiting for the day when another human heartbeat might awaken again.